I should have known something was wrong when my husband started smiling at his phone during our most intimate moments, but I didn't. Not until I found the camera. A tiny lens hidden in our bedroom smoke detector pointed directly at our bed. 5 years of marriage, 5 years of trust, and every single second recorded. My name is Caroline, and this is how I discovered my husband wasn't the man I married. He was something far worse. They say hindsight is 20/20. Looking back now, I can see all the red flags I missed. But when you cure in love, when you trust someone completely, you don't look for the cracks. You don't question the little things. Marcus and I met at a tech conference in Austin 7 years ago. I was presenting on cybersecurity. Ironic, I know. And he was in the front row, completely captivated. Or at least, that is what I thought. After my panel, he approached me with this boyish grin and said, "I've never met someone who made firewalls sound sexy." I laughed. God actually laughed. He was charming, ambitious, working in software development. We bonded over terrible conference coffee and a shared love of hiking. 6 months later, we were inseparable. 2 years after that, he proposed on the summit of Mount Rainier, and I said yes without a single doubt in my mind. Our wedding was small, intimate, just our closest friends and family. Marcus cried when I walked down the aisle. He held my hands and promised to love me, honor me, protect me. I believed every word. The first 3 years of marriage were good. Really good. We bought a house in the suburbs, adopted a rescue dog named Pepper, talked about starting a family. Marcus got a promotion at his company. I became a senior analyst at mine. We were building a life together. But around year 4, something shifted. It was subtle at first. Marcus started spending more time on his laptop, always angling the screen away when I walked by. He'd take calls in the garage, saying it was just work stuff, boring technical jargon I wouldn't care about. He installed a new home security system, top of the line, he said, to keep us safe. "You can never be too careful," he told me, kissing my forehead. "I just want to protect what is ours." I didn't question it. Why would I? He was my husband, my partner. Then came the bedroom renovations last spring. Marcus insisted we needed to update our smoke detectors. "These old models are practically useless," he said, holding up the existing one. "I got us the smart ones. They connect to our phones, have CO2 detection, the whole package." He installed them himself, spent a whole Saturday doing it, even though I offered to call an electrician. "Babe, I got this," he said. "Save our money for the trip to Italy we've been planning." Italy. We never made it to Italy. 2 months ago, everything changed. I was home alone on a Thursday afternoon, working from our bedroom. I'd been having migraines, and my doctor suggested it might be environmental, poor air quality, maybe mold. So I called an inspector to check the house. His name was Dave. Mid-50s, professional, thorough. He went through every room with his equipment, checking vents, testing air samples. When he got to our bedroom, he climbed up to inspect the smoke detector, and then he froze mime. He said slowly, still staring at the ceiling, "Did you know there is a camera in here?" My heart stopped. What? He carefully removed the smoke detector cover and showed me. There, nestled inside, was a tiny camera lens version, professional grade 1. The kind that records in high definition. "This isn't part of the smoke detector," Dave said, his face grim. Someone installed this separately. And judging by the wiring, it has been here for a while. The room started spinning on. I couldn't breathe. How long? Or he examined it more closely. Oh, based on the dust accumulation and wire oxidation, I'd say at least a year, maybe longer. Whoa, a year, maybe longer. Would I thought I was going to be sick? Dave looked at me with pity in his eyes, the kind of look you give someone whose entire world just shattered. "I have to ask, does your husband work in tech by any chance?" I nodded, unable to speak. "I am sorry," he said quietly, "but you should check your other rooms too." Dave helped me search the house. We found 3 more cameras. One in the bathroom, hidden in the ventilation fan. One in the living room, inside a decorative bookshelf speaker. One in my home office, tucked into a fake plant Marcus had given me for my birthday. 4 cameras, 4 years of my life, recorded without my knowledge. I sat on our bedroom floor after Dave left, hugging my knees, trying to process what this meant. Every private moment, every vulnerable conversation, every time I changed clothes, showered, cried, laughed, existed in my own home. He was watching, but why? I wanted to confront Marcus immediately, scream at him, throw him out, call the police. But something stopped me. A small voice in my head, the same analytical mind that made me good at my job, said, "Wait, find out everything first." I couldn't let him know I knew. Not yet. So when Marcus came home that evening, I smiled on him. I kissed him hello. I asked about his day like nothing had changed. And inside, I was dying. That night, while he slept beside me, I stared at the smoke detector and felt like I was in a horror movie. Who was this man? The person I'd shared my bed with for 5 years was a stranger, a predator. I didn't sleep. Instead, I planned. First, I needed to know where the footage was going. The cameras had to be connected to something, a hard drive, a cloud server, a remote device. Marcus was meticulous about his tech. He had a locked office in our basement that I'd always said was just for work. Boring client files and code repositories, he'd tell me whenever I offered to organize it. I'd never pushed. I'd respected his space. That was my first mistake. Section EO2ACT2.PIN in ING dialed the next morning. After Marcus left for work, I went to his office. The door had a keypad lock for security. He'd always said, I tried our anniversary. Wrong. My birthday. Wrong. His mother's birthday. Wrong. Then I tried the date it proposed. The lock clicked open. The office was exactly what you'd expect from a software developer. Multiple monitors, a high-end PC, servers humming in the corner. But on the main desk was something that made my blood run cold, a laptop, open and running. And on the screen, a grid of live camera feeds, our bedroom, our bathroom, my office, the living room. I could see myself in one feed, standing in the doorway of his office, watching myself being watched. My hands were shaking as I approached the laptop. I clicked through the folders, thousands of files, videos organized by date going back 4 years, 4 entire years of footage. I opened one at random. It was me, getting dressed for work. The timestamp said 6:47 a.m. 3 months ago. I watched myself put on a blouse, check my reflection, grab my coffee. Mundane, normal, violating. I opened another, me on a phone call with my sister, crying about my mother's cancer diagnosis. Another, me doing yoga in the living room. Another, me and Marcus in bed. I slammed the laptop shut, bile rising in my throat, but I forced myself to keep looking because I needed to know the full truth. That is when I found the folder labeled PMIM. Inside were uploads. Marcus had been uploading selected footage to a private website, a paid subscription site. He was selling videos of me, of us, to strangers on the internet. The site had over 3,000 subscribers. He'd made over 80,000. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I finally stopped shaking, I went back to the office. I copied everything onto an external hard drive, every file, every folder, every piece of evidence. Then I started digging deeper. In his email, I found correspondence with the site administrators, with other users who'd requested custom content, with men who'd paid extra for specific angles, specific moments. They talked about me like I was a product, like I wasn't even human, and Marcus played along, cheerful, professional, accommodating. Glad you enjoyed the bedroom series. I can definitely get more shower footage this week. I read that email 7 times, trying to reconcile those words with the man who'd promised to honor me. But the worst part, the absolute worst part, in a hidden subfolder, I found his real plan. He'd been messaging with a business partner about expanding, about installing cameras in other women's homes. They were developing a whole system, disguised smart home devices that desperate, trusting wives would never suspect. Marcus wasn't just violating me, he was planning to build an empire on violating other women too. And I realized I couldn't just leave him. I couldn't just expose him and hope the legal system handled it. I needed to destroy him. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. but mine was calculated, precise, and absolutely scalding. I spent 2 weeks preparing. 2 weeks pretending everything was normal while I built my case. I smiled at Marcus over breakfast. I kissed him goodbye. I let him think he was getting away with it. But every day I was gathering ammunition. I consulted with 3 different lawyers, paying in cash, meeting outside my city. I learned exactly what I needed to make this airtight. Wiretapping laws, consent violations, federal, crimes related to the distribution of intimate images. The fact that Head profited from it made it so much worse for him. I also contacted a cybersecurity specialist I knew from work, someone I trusted completely. I showed her everything, and Jesus, Caroline, she whispered, her face pale as she scrolled through the evidence. This is criminal on so many levels. Can you help me?
Uh-oh.
She looked up, and I saw the fire in her eyes. Oh, I can do more than help. I can make sure he never does this to anyone again. Load together, we crafted the perfect plan. First, we documented everything. The screenshots, video files, financial records showing the income from his illegal site. We built a timeline of his activities, his communications, his plans for expansion. Then, we set the trap. My friend helped me create a program, a beautiful, nasty piece of code that would activate the moment Marcus next logged into his laptop. It would do 3 things simultaneously. 1, send a complete evidence package to the FBI's cybercrime division, the State Attorney General's office, and a journalist I knew who specialized in tech exploitation cases. 2, post a full confession to his social media accounts, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, along with screenshots of his illegal activities. Not the actual footage, of course, but enough to show the world exactly what He'd done. 3, wipe his entire operation. Every file, every backup, every trace of the footage he'd collected and sold. Gone forever. But I wanted him to know it was me. Or I needed him to see my face when his world collapsed. So I planned the confrontation for our anniversary. 5 years of marriage. It felt poetic. I made a reservation at the restaurant where he'd proposed. Marcus loved symbolic gestures. I bought a new dress. I even got my hair done. If this was going to be the last time I saw my husband, I was going to look unforgettable. That evening, Marcus was in a great mood. He'd bought me roses, made a whole speech in the car about how lucky he was to have me. 5 years, babe, he said, squeezing my hand. Best decision I ever made. I smiled back. You have no idea what is coming. He laughed, thinking I meant a surprise gift. At the restaurant, we ordered wine, appetizers. We made small talk like a normal couple. Other diners probably looked at us and saw a happy marriage. Anniversary goals. They had no idea. Finally, when dessert arrived, I leaned forward. Marcus, I want to give you your anniversary gift. His eyes lit up. You didn't have to. I did. I pulled out my phone and placed it on the table between us. On the screen was a photo of his laptop displaying the camera feeds. The color drained from his face. Caroline, 5 years, I said softly. 5 years you recorded me, sold footage of me to strangers, made almost $200,000 turning your wife into pornography. His mouth opened and closed like a fish. Other diners were starting to glance our way. How did you find the cameras? 2 months ago. Find your little business? 2 weeks ago. Decide to ruin your entire life. The moment I saw what you'd done. Caroline, please, let me explain. Explain what, Marcus? That you violated me every single day for 4 years. That you were planning to do it to other women. I kept my voice steady, controlled. There is nothing you can say. Nothing that makes this okay. He reached for my hand. I pulled away like he was diseased. I love you, he whispered desperately. I made a mistake, but I love you. You do not love me. You do not even see me as human. I stood up, loud enough now that the entire restaurant could hear. You saw me as content, as profit, as a thing to exploit. Caroline, please sit down. Did you know that what you did is a federal crime? Multiple federal crimes, actually. wiretapping, distribution of intimate images without consent, interstate commerce involving illegal surveillance. His face went sheet white. You didn't go to the authorities? Oh, I absolutely did. In fact, I checked my watch. Right about now, the FBI is receiving a very detailed evidence package. So is the state attorney general and a journalist friend of mine at the Times. And Marcus stood so abruptly, his chair fell backward. People gasped. You can't. Caroline, that is my career, my life. Why, you are Liffey. I laughed, and it felt like broken glass. What about MY life, Marcus? What about the life you stole from me every single day? Please. He was begging now, tears streaming down his face. Please don't do this. I will delete everything. I will shut down the site. I'll do anything. Too late. It is already done. I leaned in close. And the best part, right now, while you're standing here, that program I had installed is posting everything to your social media. Your family, your friends, your colleagues, they are all finding out exactly who you really are. His phone started buzzing. Then buzzing again and again. Notification after notification die. He grabbed it with shaking hands, and I watched his face crumble as he saw the posts, the comments, the shares spreading like wildfire. No. He looked at me with pure desperation. Caroline, Estiot Tice, I can't stop it, Marcus. That is the point. You took away my control for 4 years. Now you get to feel what that is like. I grabbed my purse and walked toward the exit. The entire restaurant was silent, watching. At the door, I turned back. Marcus was standing there, surrounded by staring strangers, his phone exploding with notifications, his entire world burning down around him. Happy anniversary, I said, and I walked out. The arrest happened 3 days later. Federal agents showed up at Marcus's office. His boss called me, confused, asking if I knew anything about it. I told him to check the news. The story exploded. Software developer arrested for running illegal surveillance ring. It was everywhere. The Washington Post, the Times tech blogs, true crime forums. Marcus's face was plastered across the internet, but this time as the predator he really was. His company fired him immediately. His friends abandoned him. His family called me crying, apologizing, saying they never knew. Some of them I believed. His mother? Maybe. She'd always been kind to me. But others, the ones who'd always thought Marcus could do no wrong, they could rot alongside him for all I cared. The legal process was grueling. I had to testify, had to relieve everything. But my lawyers were incredible, and the evidence was ironclad. Marcus tried to take a plea deal. His attorney argued he'd had a mental breakdown, that he was sick and needed help instead of prison. The judge wasn't buying it. Mystery. Harrison, she said at sentencing, you didn't have a momentary lapse in judgment. You built a systematic, profitable enterprise around violating your wife's privacy and dignity. You planned to expand this violation to other women. This wasn't illness. This was predatory calculation, and 8 years in federal prison, plus registration as a sex offender, plus a massive fine that would drain every penny he'd made and more. The civil suit came next. My lawyers went after everything. The house, his retirement accounts, his car, his savings. We won it all. I donated most of the money to organizations that help victims of digital exploitation, but I kept enough to start over. I sold the house. Couldn't stay there, couldn't sleep in rooms I knew had been contaminated by his cameras. I bought a small condo downtown. New furniture, new everything. Pepper came with me, of course. He was innocent in all this. The first night in my new place, I did a full sweep with professional equipment. No cameras, no hidden devices. Just me and my dog, and blessed. Beautiful privacy. I cried for 3 hours straight. Relief, rage, grief, it all came pouring out. Therapy helped. My therapist specialized in trauma, in violation of trust. She helped me understand that what Marcus did wasn't just about the cameras. It was about power, control. He'd needed to have that over me, and when our normal relationship didn't give him enough, he'd taken it by force. "You are not broken," she told me one session. "You caught healing from someone who tried to break you. There is a difference. I am still healing. Some days are harder than others." I flinch when I see smoke detectors. I cover my laptop camera. I am hyper aware of every device in my home. Trust doesn't come easily anymore. But I am also stronger than I have ever been. I started consulting for companies on digital privacy and security. I give talks about protecting yourself from surveillance, about recognizing the signs of tech-based abuse. I help other women who have discovered cameras in their homes, who have found out their partners were violating them. I turn my nightmare into protection for others. And sometimes, late at night, I think about Marcus in his prison cell. No privacy, always being watched, cameras everywhere, monitoring his every move. Poetic justice, really young. Do I regret how I handled it? Not for a second. Some people said I should have just divorced him quietly, taken the high road. But the high road doesn't stop predators from hurting other people own. The high road doesn't send the message that this kind of violation has real, devastating consequences. I didn't want revenge for revenge's sake. I wanted accountability. I wanted justice. I wanted to make sure he could never do this to anyone else. And I got all three. My name is Caroline. 5 years ago, I married a man I thought I knew. 4 years ago, he started turning me into content without my knowledge or consent. 2 months ago, I found out, and I made sure he would spend the rest of his life regretting it. If you are watching this and something feels off in your relationship, if your partner is suddenly obsessed with upgrading your home tech, if they are secretive about their devices, if you have that gut feeling that something isn't right, trust yourself. Check your smoke detectors, your air fresheners, your charging blocks, anywhere a tiny camera could hide her. You deserve privacy. You deserve respect. You deserve a partner who sees you as a human being, not as content to exploit. And if you find out you've been violated like I was, document everything, get help from professionals, and don't let anyone tell you that revenge is wrong when what you are really seeking is justice. Sometimes the only way to stop a monster is to shine a light on them so bright they can't hide anymore. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please share it. You might save someone from going through what I did. And remember, you are stronger than you think, and you deserve so much better than someone who treats you like a product.